So the next person we're going to talk about is a Welsh music icon.
Okay.
Richey Edwards, also known as Richie James or Richie Manic from the Manic Street Preachers. He was a poet, and he mimed guitar on stage, right? But
he played air guitar?
He had a guitar, but he didn't play it, if that makes sense. Because he wasn't a good guitar player. He wasn't up to the standard of being in a band like the Manic Street Preachers. So he just went on stage and performed like performance artist. He did backing vocals too, but he was like the band's main songwriter.
Right.
And his lyrics at the time, Manic Street Preachers were a political protest band. That's not two ways about it. 1989 and 1991, they released some real hardcore stuff in terms of protest songs. Like, one of their songs is called Repeat, and the lyric is "Repeat after me, fuck Queen and country."
Okay.
So, that's how hardcore they were. They weren't hardcore in the music.
Right.
They were traditional rock, but in the lyrics, they were, so he was the main songwriter, and he was just wild. I mean, he would take anything he'd get his hands on. He would literally carve stuff into his arms in front of photographers and the music press. He once carved for real in his arm.
So he was like the Sid Vicious of his generation. Yeah,
but it wasn't outward anger, it was inward anger.
Right.
So he was very, very, he was very, very depressed and very, very self-harm. And he would put it into his music, and his music was, Manic Street Preachers are open socialist people.
Right.
So, they openly Republican in the UK, which is completely different to Republican in the US.
Right.
They want to end the monarchy and all that stuff. So, he was really, really wild, but at the same time, he was real talented at what he did, except play the guitar.
Well, okay. We can't all be good at everything.
No, we can't be good at everything. But I mean, he was an amazing songwriter, and you could tell the quality of the first 3 Manic Street Preachers albums where he did the majority of the songwriting.
Right.
Nicky Wire, who's the bass player, took over songwriting duties.
Right.
And did his own, because the way it worked out is that the singer, the guitarist, and the drummer would write all the music.
Okay.
And then either Richie or Nicky would write the lyrics. And the majority of the time it was Richey Edwards who would write the lyrics.
Right.
And Nicky Wire wrote a chunk too, but his stuff was a little more softer in political nature.
Right.
I mean, when he took over full songwriting duties, he was writing songs about the Spanish Revolution, and yeah. So it
tracks.
So his political was different.
There's definitely a shift, is what you're saying. Yes.
So the first 3 albums and half of the 4th album, are absolutely stunning. I mean, they are like some of the best music to ever come out of Britain. And I know the Manic Street Preachers are not well known in the United States, only to a handful of people. But the people I've shown them to are like, whoa, these are really good.
Right.
And yeah, so that was Richie. I mean, he, as I mentioned, he dealt with
you said he had
demons.
Yeah, and then he's presumed to have committed suicide after leaving his car by the Severn Bridge in February of 95.
Yeah, he emptied his bank accounts, left a binder of lyrics and poetry with the band, and was never seen or heard of again.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, look, he's considered up there in some of the finest songwriters Britain's ever produced. I mean, I mentioned the folder of music that he gave the band. They finally got around to recording it, and that was in 2008. Journal for Plague Lovers is a really good album, and yeah, that's the tale of Richey Edwards, Richie Manic, whatever you want to call him, Richie James, whatever. So he's, like I said, one of the finest musicians that Wales has ever produced. Definitely.
Well,